Hello, it's the beginner crafter. Welcome to another craft tube video. This time, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of projects to show you. Going back to school after such a long break was very intense, so I didn't have a lot of time to work on my projects. So I actually only worked on two craft projects. One knitting and one from a Craftpod, which is embroidery. And let's start with knitting. I have this scarf, the Twisted Roots scarf make along from Scheepjes. I've done one full repeat and this is about this long, maybe here. Because I have about 14 rows of the second repeat. So this is the whole pattern. It will just be repeated a lot of time. I've made 70 rows so far out of 740. So I'm not yet at 10%. It should be soon, but I'm not yet at 10%. It is going faster. Considering, of course, that I have less time, but I feel like things are going faster when I make a row. It doesn't take me 20 minutes as it used to. Depending on the row, it can be like 10 minutes, for example. So it is going faster. I just have less time to do things. And it's been a month. No, a bit more than a month. Well, the MAL started on the 6th of January. Today is the 8th of February, but I didn't really start the scarf itself on the 6th, more like on the 8th. So it would be, yeah, a month that I'm working on it. So 31 days with 70 rows. That's a little over 2 rows per day, which is, well, not bad as an average, but I hope to improve this average if I can. But if we go back to school, like to school, not just to learning, I'll have even less time to work on projects. But I have to say also the last week was very difficult mentally for me. I don't know really why, because nothing terrible had happened. It's just that I didn't really have energy to do things, so I haven't really worked that much. But let's talk about the scarf and what I'm doing. It's really interesting the way it looks. It is a little narrow, but I've seen pictures on this Scheepjes webpage, well, Facebook page, where people showed the difference between the blocked scarf and unblocked, and it will get broader. So it will have this volume of a scarf. It is quite soft, although this seed stitch, it's kind of coarse the way it feels. But other than that, it's really pretty. I really like what's happening here. And I really like the fact that I'm the one doing it, which really for a long time I didn't believe I would be able to, because I'm all thumbs. At least I used to be all thumbs for a lot of crafty things. And knitting for me was especially difficult because you have to use both your hands at the same time, and it just kind of didn't have I didn't have enough hands to work with things, to make sure that I lose no stitches, that, you know, nothing's falling off the needles and stuff. And when I was a kid, it happened all the time, but now I think I have more patience and I can accept the fact that one row will take me half an hour, for example, while when I was a kid, no, that was not happening. I wanted to do things quickly. Now I have a lot more patience and, I guess, understanding that things take time. And I took the time to practice before I really started, which I also never really did as a kid. So yay for being, you know, a grown-up and trying things when you're a grown-up and mature enough to accept some things that you're not perfect even if you want to be. What I'm surprised at is that there are kind of holes in there, and I see them while I'm working, because here you switch where the stitches are. You put them in a special needle, and then there's a hole, as you can see, and I guess in here you can see it a little better on the wrong side. But I'm surprised that you can't really see them, you know, just looking at it like this. It's a really good thing. And yeah, I really like what's happening here, and I'm looking forward to finishing it, not just to see the end result, but to also be able to start another knitting project. Right now I don't want to start another knitting project because I still have to finish this, at least advance very, very much, so that I can actually finish it before I need it in the next colder season. So the plan is to finish it before autumn. Calendar autumn is in September, but very often September is still very warm. Sometimes Octobers are quite warm as well, and not really windy. At least not cold and windy enough for me to wear scarves. I'm not a big fan of scarves. So let's say November, which is 8 months from now. So if it took me 1 month to make one repeat, and there are 13 repeats in total, I need to speed things up. However, there are summer holidays soon, when I hope I'll have a lot more time to just do stuff, and I'll be able to speed it up very much in those months. Hopefully, if we don't go back to school, I mean, even if we do go back to school, like to teach live, in the middle of May, after the exams are over for the last graders, the last graders will leave school, so I'll have less classes to teach, which will give me more time to work on things, also more time to relax, if I'm ever burn out again or just have a bad mood or something. So hopefully it will get finished by autumn, but it's a long-term project. Another project that I worked on, and to be honest, I was hoping I would finish it, but it didn't happen. It's the Autumn 2020 Craftpod project, the Toadstool. This is what it looks like. The hat takes quite a lot of time, and actually here there's a dark brown thread surrounding and sort of sketching out the leg of the mushroom. And because it is so dark, and I was supposed to do it in split stitch, so you have to go through the thread, I only could do it when it was bright enough outside so that I could see it, because with a light from the lamp or the light in the room, I couldn't really see the difference between the color of the fabric and the color of the thread. The hat is just a lot of stitches, and you need to make sure you're putting them in the right direction so that they kind of look like they're 3D, and they curve in the places where they should, and they are straight in the places where they should. So what I have left to do is finish this color. Then there is a small thin row of a different color to sort of, again, shade things out, to give them a more natural look. Then French knotting the spots on the toadstool, and just embroidering some decoration around the toadstool, and then it will be finished. So I really hope it will be done by next Crochet Crafts Tube. And the next project from Craft Tube will be the swans. This is the embroidery part, but there are also I don't really know how to call them. Best let me show you. Just felt swans. So you cut the swans out of felt, and this is the winter pod, so I guess you could use them as a decoration. Although, I'll be honest, I don't know why the swans in winter, although I do remember feeding swans in winter when I was a kid, because they were one of the few birds that stayed for winter, but yeah, they're not really something that I associate, at least with Christmas, like here, but as a decoration, why not? And this is the embroidery that will be here, so this will be embroidery with also this felt here, so that will be really interesting to make, I think. It will take some time, but I think it will be very interesting. Also, there was a recipe for pine cone ginger biscuits, so it's a third project. I can't really bake, and ginger is not really something that I like very much, so I'm not sure if I'll use it, but I think it's a nice idea that they included also a craft like that. Unfortunately, no crochet this time. I didn't have any interesting projects to make. Nothing spoke to me in the last 2 weeks after I finished the reindeer, for example. So that will have to wait for at least another 2 weeks before I can show you something. We'll see what happens. A new Crochet Society box should arrive. So maybe they'll have some nice ideas. We'll see. Today, just 2 projects: the scarf and the embroidery. Unfortunately, that's all I have. But I'm glad I moved forward in something. Even though these weren't the best 2 weeks, I did something nice, and I'm proud of what I've done. So let's be happy with what we have. It's winter time. It's still pandemic. Let's be proud of what we can achieve and not dwell too much on things we can't really do or don't feel like doing. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's really nice to know that you like what I'm doing. If you want to see my progress in the crafts, like embroidery, knitting, crocheting, other crafts, consider subscribing to my channel. It's always nice to have a group of people who want to see what I'm doing, and it's kind of motivating to see that number growing. And hopefully see you next time. Bye!